Greetings, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is, I believe it's Park Path, right? So, Park Path, we are bringing Rosalia, of course, or Rosalia, however you would pronounce that, and let's just dive in here. Park Path and Chimps. One thing of note, this Tinkerberry, or whatever, Tinkerbell skin, Tinkerberry, but this Tinkerbell skin is extremely annoying to listen to, so I've decided to just mute Rosalia completely, just because it is just so insanely annoying, so we don't have to deal with listening to that. But anyway, here we go. The strategy for today is, it is yet another waiting strategy, as we need to afford one of the most expensive towers in the game. That is going to be the flying fortress, so that is pretty damn expensive. I think we're looking at a solid 90k at least. And yeah, 91k. But you notice that we do have Rosalia in here, or Rosalia, which means that it is going to be a little discount. And it's not so little, I think it is 10k cheaper, so it's quite significant. So we're gonna get that, which is gonna be massive, massive for us as we save up for that very expensive tower. And once we get that, it's naturally going to be game over. So it is all about being able to afford it. And before we get the flying fortress, we need to get the spectre, which is sort of another thing we need to wait for in order to afford it, but it is not such a long wait, honestly. I think it is like around late 50s we would get the spectre, so doesn't take too long. A little close here, but nothing crazy. Here we go. There we go. Rosalia. There we go. Yeah, there really isn't too much to say. I'm gonna grab this upgrade here. I always prefer to, in the very beginning, I prefer to have the bomb, because that allows her to pop more balloons. The laser is better against Moabs, so it's something you would use against Moabs. So later on, the laser becomes a little bit better in my opinion. But okay. For now, if we could get the discipline and the sharp shuriken on top of that. The reason why we get that is just so we are safe in these rounds. You don't want to leak unnecessarily. And the airplane can be a little bit, it can be a little bit unpredictable before you get the Sea King upgrade, which is the 3rd tier. So before we get to that, it's just better that we just deal with, we get the ninja a little bit up first, so we can clear out these rounds rather easily. I did initially want to go for a sub, but it's rather stupid to neglect the ninja, because the ninja is, it has everything. It can pop every type of balloon except lead. And the lead balloon is not an issue with Rosalia here, so it's a very solid tower to go for early, because it's just extremely safe and strong, really. Isn't too much else to say about it, just that it's extremely reliable and something that you generally should do early. Like, there really isn't any need to avoid the ninja. So, the ninja start, I do that a lot in the beginning. So, but I would want to try to get to 2 million on the plane, though. I think that's definitely possible, but gotta be a little bit careful with that. I think you could only allow for like 40,000 balloons to get to leak in order for that to happen. So that would be a pleasant surprise if you are able to save up for that. But we would have to wait and see here. I can upgrade the plane, but I don't see the point just yet. Gotta be a little bit careful, but we're still we're good. Okay, there we go. We got the discount, so we can start with a rapid fire. Center path, I'm gonna place it around here, maybe. And the never miss targeting. That is the Sea King upgrade I was talking about, which pretty much is going to take care of every single balloon. From here, we want to get the double shot. And the reason for that is because of camo. You never know on round 35 or 36 and 37 with the whites. There's some bullshit that can happen, so we want to avoid that. It's not very expensive, just 900 bucks to ensure that we can comfortably pop those camos before we give camo to the plane, which we will do soon, or the ace rather, but I like to call it a plane. But yeah, let's go for the Alk for now. Get the Alk up to the Berserker Brew, and now let's get the village, because around 42 is actually a little dangerous, so you need to get that, even now, as you can see, right? There's a reason I got the double shot. Those were the whites that I was talking about. You gotta be a bit careful with that, but there's no need to worry. But just so you know, a double shot is the best. But we're not gonna get the ninja any higher though. It should be, the plane is more than good enough to take care of every balloon, and the Moab is not an issue either. And Rosalia's level 7 upgrade is very solid, as you can see. Very easily took care of that Moab there. So I recommend using this jetpack upgrade for the Moabs while we wait for the Spectre. I'll switch to the laser. But yeah, the Spectre is just so... it is strong, but it takes a bit of time to save up for it. And I almost forgot to upgrade this to Raider Scanner, but good thing I did have a double shot there. Totally forgot about that, but yeah, the double shot is enough to take care of 42. So that's good. That would have been very embarrassing, because that was the reason why we got the village in the first place. I'll get the strongest simulant and get this for the ace here. Now it is time to save up for the Spectre, which is 20,000, so we should be getting that by the end of the 50s. 49 especially is a huge money-making round. Get a lot of money then. So according to my calculations, it should be around there where we get that when we need to wait like 40 rounds, and then we have the Flying Fortress after that. And it's GG's pretty much, because the Flying Fortress is insanely strong. And that's why it warrants such an enormous price tag. And well, the ace is another tower that is less good if you have like multiple lanes. So much like the heli pilot, it excels when it can hit one area at the same time, or sort of one lane rather. When it is multiple, it can easily, like, it can miss and stuff. It is a bit better than the heli pilot though, to be fair, but still more reliable when there's one lane. And yeah, Park Path is, I guess I forgot to mention it, it is a map from BTD5. So they just randomly incorporated this one without adding anything. There is nothing here of like uniqueness. There's like the tree, you can't see over that tree or this tree, but it is not in the way of the map, so it doesn't play a role at all in the map. So it is a very basic stage. Definitely not one of my favorites, but it's fine. It's nothing really to it, but they did make a revenge map of this though, which is significantly harder. I think it is an advanced map, yeah. Yeah, so 55 right on schedule, as I alluded to, and now it's just all about saving up 82,000. So instead of 91,000, it is 82,000. So it's 9k. Probably it's not decisive, but it's good to get it one round before. I mean, one round ahead. You never know what could happen that you. That it suddenly you just don't get it in time and you lose. It reminds me a little bit of the Ray of Doom that I was saving up for in the Skates video. It's kind of crazy. I was missing 500 bucks, or maybe it was a little bit more, but it was very close. But I was dying and I had to buy the glue gunner to save the run, and yeah, kind of similar, but the Spectre is very strong though. Spectre is just one of those OP 20,000 towers. Kind of like the carrier flagship in a way, that it just does a lot of damage. So you could survive for quite some time with only the Spectre, just because of how much damage it does to both Bloons and Moabs. It's just a very, very solid pick all around. But we want the Flying Fortress, which is just insanely strong. It is definitely one of the strongest tier 5s in the game. I would say it's like maybe on the top. Like it is very... It's definitely S tier. It's my favorite tier 5 in the game, or one of my favorites at least, but I would say it is my favorite. Just love the Flying Fortress. Very fun to use. And whenever you do like boss runs, you kind of want to consider the Flying Fortress. So it's just always very strong. So as you can see, we only have a Spectre, and the Bloons are not getting past it at all. Like, it's barely getting past this first spin right here. And the Ninja isn't doing much. The Tinker Fairy, the Tinker Bell, is not doing very much either. So the Alchemist is popping a little bit, but we are on track for 2 million, just barely though. So that would be fun to get. But I'm not very much concerned about that though. But it is an achievement, I think, to pop 2 million Bloons in a Chimps run, as well as two tower Chimps, which we will be doing later on. I have an idea for logs, which I have mapped out in my head, and then I will do the 2 tower run. I think I have an idea how that's gonna look. So that's gonna be fun to do, but definitely not something I'm gonna bother with here though. As we are... I ended up doing this a little late, so I have already done a few more of the upcoming maps, because in this one I'm actually, like, since I'm talking and such, it took me a few days to actually record it. But I've done a few of the others, like Frozen Over I did yesterday, so that one is a little bit later. I've also done the one after this. I think it's Alpine Run. That one I also have prepared, so... Alright, so they got a little bit further right now. Kind of expected, honestly. But this upgrade here is pretty good. Very solid for Moab, so it just does quite a bit of damage there. But gotta be careful so she doesn't do too much damage, otherwise I'm not getting the 2 million. I gotta hope that that I can somehow survive that, but I think it's gonna be quite close, because I think it is like 40,000-50,000, and we're already at like, I think it's 20k roughly, all of the towers combined. I can afford a little bit more, but if I want 2 million, I think it's not more than 50k, so... That number increases if you start using Rosalia's abilities and such. Gives her a lot of pops, but... That was round 78, as you can see, it's not remotely challenging in any way whatsoever. And it's quite remarkable how strong the Spectre is. We've been able to save up 50,000, which is already a very strong tier 5 if necessary. So the Spectre is, can always be considered for these maps, but there are countless strategies that work. Pretty much everything that we've done on a lot of the maps is going to work on every single one, or most of the maps, just because of how long they are. And that's why I try to have fun, as I have said before. Now I'm not taking the runs that seriously, because technically I kind of doubt that people are looking up these runs, or they're struggling, just because it's those are the easy maps in general. You don't need anything sophisticated for that, and aside from that, you don't have like a tricky start where you need a specific start in order to survive. In terms of a lot of the later maps, you need to place dart monkeys and such in specific spots in order to survive the first rounds. So we are quite far away from that. So that's why I'm taking it very chill, even when I make mistakes and such. I leave everything in the videos. I just don't care at all, because this is more about having fun before the real game really begins. And we will get to that, and those are the videos that I think could be even like somewhat successful, because people are naturally looking up strategies for those. But we'll see. I think it's fun if I get like more views than usual. It's been a bit varied for these, but I was pleasantly surprised by a couple. So that's fun. I enjoy that. But I don't care that much though. It is just for fun, naturally. But yeah, the Tinker Fairy has a lot of pop balloons right now, so we are in the it is in the area of being too late. I think I'm getting the the Flying Fortress a little bit too late, so she's able to get enough pops to steal my my 2 million pops. I'm almost certain. So she has 50k already, 60k now. And the Alchemist even has 15k. So I could kind of say goodbye to that, but that was kind of expected. You kind of need to eliminate some of these other towers, but there's the Flying Fortress, and now it is just... You can watch it go to town here, as it's going to destroy absolutely everything. And yeah, we'll see. So those are the DDTs. They didn't even get past the first bend. Let's see how things will go. You could always get to MIB if you want. I'm not gonna bother with any more upgrades. But of course you can get something else too. You could get like stalling towers, like the Kylie Boomerang, the Moab Press. I mean, kind of good for one of the things that are good for later rounds. But yeah, the Flying Fortress is gonna destroy everything just because of how ridiculously powerful it is. It's really, really strong. So no wonder why they made the Ace Paragon that strong, which is my favorite Paragon in the game. Ace Paragon is great, and as I said, this is kind of my favorite tower in the game, the Flying Fortress. It's incredibly good and really fun to use, as I said. So there's 96. There's nothing. It's remotely close to getting through. Rosalia is level 16. I think what she does eventually is that she gives you the anti-balloon for cheaper, if I remember right. Just look at these. It's crazy. She still does a decent amount of damage, though. How close are we? Yeah, it is barely not enough. I think we're gonna land on 1.9 million. So that's round 99. Easily taken care of there. And round 100. And that's gonna be it. Almost 2 million. Not quite there. We got 50k too many pops. So almost there, but not quite. We had Rosalia taking a little bit too many, unfortunately. So, and the Alchemist got like 23k. It's honestly a bit surprising. I guess that is because of this. But anyway, that could be like, if you guys want me to do the 2 million chimps challenge, I could definitely do that. There is one very easy way to do it. Just go for the Apache Prime. But that is for another time. But if you guys are interested, I'll consider it, because why not? So yeah. But that's it though for this run. So very easy with the Flying Fortress, especially with Rosalia. That makes everything cheaper. But yeah, that's Park Path for you. Not a particularly difficult map. Fairly long, so it is not tricky in any way. It's one of the easier. I would say it is on the easier end of easy maps. It's just your generic easy map. So, yeah, that's it. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.